Dear student, in previous class I discussed about the laws of reflection of light. In this class I am going to explain the next topic, image formation. So the laws of reflection help us to understand the formation of the image of an object by mirrors. You can see in this picture just formation of image by a plane mirror. Consider a point source S. You can see in this picture source S of light. Let it be in front of a plane mirror M dash. Draw any two rays, say SA and SB, from this source and let them meet the mirror M dash at the points A and B respectively. Draw the normals AN and BN dash at these 2 points. Now draw the reflected rays AP and BQ, making angle PAN is equal to angle SAN and angle QBN dash is equal to angle SBN dash. The two reflected rays AP and BQ, when produced backwards, appear to meet at the point S dash. This point S dash is the image of the point source S. Now join the points S dash and S. The resulting line S dash S cuts the plane mirror M dash at the point O. On measuring, we find that first the S dash O is equal to OS, and second the angle SOM dash is equal to angle S dash OM dash is equal to 90 degree. We therefore observe that for a point source S, the image formed by a plane mirror is as far behind the mirror as the object is in front of it, and the line joining the image of a point object and the object itself is normal to the plane mirror. The line S dash is bisected by the plane mirror because S dash O is equal to OS. In the above case, we found that the two reflected rays AP and BQ were going away from each other after reflection by the plane mirror. They, however, appeared to meet at the point S dash when produced backwards. The image S dash formed by a plane mirror is therefore not due to an actual intersection of the reflected rays. It appears to be formed through the intersection of the reflected rays when produced backwards. Such images are known as virtual image. So, a virtual image is thus an image that appears to be formed through an apparent intersection of the reflected rays. There is no actual intersection of the reflected rays. By using appropriate spherical mirrors, we can get an image that is formed through an actual intersection of the reflected rays. We call such an image as a real image. Next, multiple image. It is interesting to note that the rays reflected by one mirror can get reflected again if they are incident on another mirror. This fact is used to obtain more than one image or multiple images. By using two or more plane mirrors inclined at different angles. This idea of multiple images formed by plane mirrors kept inclined to one another is used in a toy known as kaleidoscope. This helps us to make numerous beautiful patterns. Do you know, even a plane mirror can show the full image of a large object. However, to see the full image of yourself, you need a plane mirror half of your height. When a plane mirror moves towards a stationary object with a speed of u, the image will move with a speed 2u in the same direction as that of the mirror. Just you can see in this activity 3. For this, take two plane mirrors, set them at right angles to each other with their edges touching. Use molding clay. Place some object in between the mirrors. How many images of object do we see? Now set the plane mirrors at different angles, say 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, etc. Observe what you can see more than one image in each case. So we can now understand how we are able to see the back of our head at the hairdresser's salon when he keeps a plane mirror behind our head. Spherical mirrors. So when we look into a large shining stainless steel serving a spoon kept nearby, our face may appear bigger or smaller than its normal size. It appears bigger when we seen from one side of the spoon and smaller when we seen from its other side. This is unlike the case of a plane mirror where we get an image of the same size as the object. The difference is due to the curved nature of the surfaces of the spoon. We thus realize that a curved reflecting surface or mirror behaves in a different way as compared to a plane reflecting surface or a plane mirror. Curved mirrors can occur in a variety of shapes, but the simplest of them are the spherical mirrors. So, a spherical mirror is a special type of mirror whose surface is a part of a sphere. There are two types of spherical mirrors, the concave mirror and the convex mirror. Suppose there is a spherical ball of glass and we cut out a section of this ball. If we now polish the outer side of this section and then cover it with a silver layer and a protective paint, we get a concave mirror. When the silvering and protective paint coating is done on the inner side, we get a convex mirror. You can see in this picture. Next, terms used in connection with spherical mirrors. We use quite a few basic terms to understand the details of formation of image by a spherical mirror. Some of them are as follows. First, center of curvature. The center of curvature of a spherical mirror is the center of the sphere of which the given mirror is a part. Next, radius of curvature. The radius of a sphere of which the given mirror is a part is known as the radius of curvature of the mirror. The pole, this is the midpoint or the central point of the section or part of the sphere used for making the given spherical mirror. The principal axis. The principal axis of a spherical mirror is the line joining the pole of the mirror and its center of curvature. The normal. The normal to a spherical mirror at any point of its surface is simply the line joining that point on the mirror surface to the center of curvature of the mirror. In other words, it is just the radius of the sphere of which the given mirror is a part at that point on the mirror. Next, the focus. Suppose there is a beam of light rays parallel to the principal axis of a spherical mirror. We find that all these rays actually meet or converge at a point on the principal axis for a concave spherical mirror. For a convex spherical mirror, all these rays appear to meet at or diverge from a point on its principal axis. In both cases, we call this point as the focus of the spherical mirror. The focal length, the distance between the pole and the focus of the mirror is known as its focal length. You can see in the two pictures. It is easy to prove that there is a very simple relation between the focal length and the radius of curvature of a spherical mirror. The focal length f is nearly half the radius of curvature r, that is f is equal to r by 2. This means that the focus is situated midway between the pole and the center of curvature of the mirror. Do you know the radius of curvature and focal length of a plane mirror are infinite? That is very large indeed. In this activity, you can see just to find the focus of a given concave mirror. For this, take a concave spherical mirror and a sheet of white paper. Hold the concave mirror in front of a distant table lamp and also keep the sheet of white paper in its front. Adjust the mirror and the position of sheet, and we will see the rays of light concentrating at a point on the sheet. This point is the focus of the given concave mirror. The bright spot at the focus is the real image of the lamp. If we were to do this experiment in sunlight and were to put the tip of a matchstick at the focal point of the mirror, it is likely to catch fire. If we take a black paper sheet instead of a white paper sheet, it is likely to get burnt after a while and have a hole at the point corresponding to the focus of the given concave mirror. But this should be done with very carefully, because it is very important to take all possible care to protect our eyes from the glare of the reflected sunlight. We must ensure that our eyes do not face the sun or the rays of sunlight reflected by the mirror. Also, while using a matchstick, we must ensure that there are no inflammable objects or sheets of paper etc. near the matchstick. So, it is very important to follow these instructions while we are doing this activity. So, the next topic is laws of reflection and a spherical mirror, and I will just discuss about it in next class. Thank you.